Plastic pollution as a global problem has thus far been approached through many methods, some of which include consumeristic changes in attitudes and purchasing, governmental political change, and personal, company, individual technology innovations. Since 2018 in Western Australia, consumers have been forced to use reusable bags when shopping at large franchises including Coles and Woolworths, thanks to a ban on the supply of lightweight plastic bags. Similar plastic bag bans or non-reusable bag bans have been placed all throughout parts of Australia and the world. In 2011, the Australian Capital Territory banned use of all plastic bags completely. In China, plastic bag distribution from certain stores is illegal. Similar bans have been felt in Chile and Canada also. There's been a trend in consumer patterns towards more sustainable plastic usage also. It is now widely popular for people to use reusable straws, bags, coffee cups, water bottles, food wraps, hygiene products, and the like. Through making these small changes, individuals can cut down on their own plastic consumption and waste very significantly, whilst also placing pressure on companies to change their plastic-driven ways. Some companies have taken on this consumer demand for sustainability and implemented changes, such as Carlsberg Beer. They formerly used multi-pack rings to hold their beverages together. Now they're held together with glue instead, and as many of you know, those rings that they used to use would often be swallowed by sea animals like turtles and on which they would choke. So Coca-Cola, Pepsi, L'Oreal, H&M, Unilever are all amongst a group of companies that have become part of the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, which is an organisation that makes a promise to reuse, recycle or compost 100% of their plastic packaging by 2025. This is one of many examples of companies making sustainable changes. As stated earlier, some of this change is consumer-driven. However, petitions and social media campaigns are also an important tool that people have used to bring sustainability to the forefront of companies' aims. This pressure then also applies to political leaders who are encouraged to prioritise sustainability or else lose a large portion of their voting majority. The Australian Government introduced a new national waste policy in 2018 which is aimed at less waste, more resources. This policy is a framework aimed at influencing and changing the behaviour of businesses, individuals and governments in regards to reduction, recycling, innovation and more. International bodies such as the UN are attempting to implement global governmental policy changes and actions. They have a Beat Plastic Pollution initiative driven through social media, in which leaders post videos about plastic they're cutting out. They share the video and encourage 3 more people to do the same. The hope is to create a domino effect of people cutting out plastic in some way in their lives. This campaign encourages governments. Also, the UN Environment Group launched a #CleanSeas campaign at the Economist World Ocean Summit in 2017. This campaign encourages governments to make policy change towards plastic packaging reduction and consumer plastic use reduction. The hashtag will share the efforts that certain countries make in becoming part of the campaign and how they promise to follow through on this promise. Furthermore, the UN Basel Convention on the Control of Transboundary Movements of Hazardous Waste and Their Disposal was amended in 2019 to include plastic as a type of waste. The agreement was reached and signed by approximately 180 countries, not including the US. Part of this agreement involves a promise to track plastic waste that is sent from developed to developing countries, and the ability for developed countries to only accept the amount that they choose. As for the US, in 2018, President Trump signed the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's Marine Debris Act, now retitled the Save Our Seas Act of 2018, which pledges to identify sources of plastic pollution, improve the cleanup of plastic in the ocean, as well as reducing source of plastic pollution. As for private companies and individuals, the Ocean Cleanup Initiative, designed by Boyan Slat, is still a work in progress, and it's a pipe that exists in the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Slat aims to have half of the plastic within that patch removed every 5 years throughout the pipe. The Plastic Tide, a project by Peter Kohler, involves drones being used to find plastic, and it involves tracking that plastic movement with drones. International Coastal Cleanup by Ocean Conservancy organises International Cleanup Days in which volunteers all around the world take part, and they can also use an app designed by International Coastal Cleanup called CleanSwell that records trash individuals collect. So it's clear to see that many people and organisations are already attempting to solve the plastic pollution problems that we've built up from our past. However, if you check out our other videos, you'll see that there is much more work to be done, and we need to look at ways to prevent future plastic pollution would be just adding to the issue that we already have, rather than just attempting to clean up the mess that we've already made.